Welcome to this week's Weekly Grocery Guru with Andrew Grant. Andrew, how are you?
Good morning, Darren. Yes, very good.
Good. We're on episode 24, Andrew, and I hope we're not running out of things to say to our viewers. I sense we're not. What's in our post bag this week?
Well, not necessarily post bag, but news of a sort, I suppose. But maybe it's lockdown and I should get out more. But the world has turned on its head, as we all know. But I never thought I would see the day again when Tesco would grow its market share and Aldi would lose market share.
Well, that sounds strange. Yeah, go on, tell me more.
Yeah, because I mean, the history of the last, 10 years has been Aldi just going like that and Tesco slowly, losing share every single month. And latest Kantar data has just come out. It's very exciting for people like you and me, but I'm not sure a lot of people stay up late at night to wait for it. But it's staggering. We talked last week or the week before, I think, about this lockdown effect and how the malts have been the big winners.
Yes, we did.
But obviously, but would you really want to be a buyer this year facing last year's peaks?
Oh, I mean, it'll be terrible for every buyer out there, every supplier. Year on year will just be hard. Yeah.
No. Yes and no. Not so bad if you're a Tesco, Sainsbury's, Morrison's. Pretty bad if you're an Aldi or a Lidl.
Okay.
So what Kantar have very helpfully done is done a 2-year change figure, 2-year growth figure. So they've done a year-on-year figure for March and a 2-year figure for March. So you can really see the effects of lockdown last year.
Okay. So you're looking at some Kantar data. What's this? 12 weeks to end of March.
22nd of March.
22nd of March.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're picking up on some observations in that data. What are you seeing?
Well, yeah. So what is staggering is Tesco have actually grown market share, 26.8 to 27.1, so up 0.3. But Aldi have lost 0.3 magically.
Okay.
You've got Tesco growing ahead of the average, so they're growing at 8.5 versus multiples at 7.4. Morrison's at 8.7. Aldi 1.5.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So just the average growth for a multiple, do you say was 8.5?
7.4. Tesco 8.4.
And Aldi's growing at 6 points less than that.
Yeah, I mean, almost not growing.
Wow.
Which to me shows what happens when you haven't got an online home delivery presence.
Yes.
And what nails that even harder home, you look at Ocado. Do you have a guess what Ocado's growth is year on year?
Well, so they're obviously very good at home delivery. That's their model. No, go on, tell us.
34%.
Wow.
So what? 4 times Tesco.
Wow. Now we talked in our previous episode, I think it's a couple of weeks ago, about the Morrison's preliminary results, and their sales were up well, but their profit had died because they were trying to manage COVID, buying PPE, labour in store, blah blah blah. That I guess won't be the case for Ocado because the model's the model.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, they're probably driving some very profitable sales. Although the point you just made, we like that back to Aldi. Imagine, Aldi's operating margins are probably the tiniest in the industry. They don't divulge them.
Yeah.
But they'll have had exactly the same costs as a Tesco, Asda, Sainsbury's, etc. But they're driving no growth.
Very true.
So Aldi will be under a lot of pressure.
So,
and as I said, it just shows this new world post COVID where the growth is in online and home delivery. And if you haven't got an online and home delivery presence, you're in trouble. Now, the other thing I find interesting, Asda's still managing to grow quite strongly, and they haven't got, they've got the home delivery and online presence. They haven't quite got the loyalty presence that a club card or a Nectar card brings.
Yeah.
Because what I found again quite interesting, and I mentioned it last week, a relatively big headline: Asda start £100 million price war.
Yeah.
I think it was in one of the red top papers, and Asda's new owners recognizing that they can't allow Aldi to steal their customers.
It's all
about the only thing they've got to fight on is price.
Yes.
So great big, £100 million price war.
Yeah.
Are you impressed? You're going to be going down to Asda?
Well, obviously 100 million is a big number, and it's a good part of PR. I sense where this is going.
Yeah, Asda's turnover is 23 billion.
Yeah.
So 100 million investment is 0.4p in the pound, less than a halfpenny in the pound. Now, obviously, they won't invest that 100 million on every single line.
Yeah.
But even if they took 10%, their top 10% lines, say, and invested that money, it's 4p reduction. It's 4p on a can of lager. Are you really going to cross the road for that?
Well, you're not. When you put it like that, you're not. So isn't it a little bit like when the government say we're going to put 10,000 more bobbies on the beat, and we don't end up with 10,000, we end up with fewer numbers than that.
Well, it's not that, is it? It's when they say what the investment is. I think Diane Abbott got caught out by that, didn't they? Saying we're going to put 10,000 bobbies on the beat and it'll cost £1 million. And somebody said, "Oh, we're paying policemen 100 grand a year now, are we?"
Something like that, wasn't
it? Yeah, the one that gets me is the sofa warehouses and the home furnishing warehouses that you see on the out of town centres, and they go, incredible, £50 million sale, and you think, well, I personally aren't thinking of spending £50 million on a sofa. So what's 50 million mean?
It's just a big number to bandy about. Coming back to your Kantar numbers, so the bit I'm taking out from our Morrison's preliminary results look and the Kantar you shared today is the real darling of all this must be Ocado, because their sales are up hugely and they haven't changed their model. So they must be the ones that are really profitable and really smiling from all this.
I guess so, other than obviously if you do look at Ocado's results, their operating model is a very, very heavily capital invested model, which will take a lot of years to pay back. But yeah, on the day-to-day face of it, they must have the biggest smiles of the lot on their face.
I would have thought so.
And but I said, I think just bring it around. I think Aldi have got real problems.
Well, have they started click and collect?
They have, but I tried it because I'm actually quite an Aldi fan. I think their quality is superb. The price is no longer jaw-dropping, but still very, very good. And other than them never having more than one checkout open and it taking forever to get through, I quite like Aldi.
Yeah.
So, and I've had a look at their click and collect, and it's poor. I mean, it's
in what way?
It's clunky. It's not every store. I don't think it's every product. It's not seamless like a Tesco or a Sainsbury's experience is.
Right.
And it's click and collect.
Yeah, it's different.
And obviously Aldi stores don't necessarily have the car parking and the space to make it easy to operate click and collect.
Yeah.
So,
very true.
Will they be going into vans? And the other thing that struck me again, going back to Asda's £100 million price war, it's very unsubtle, very brutal, and probably not going to work if it's less than a halfpenny in the pound. I can imagine what the likes of Tesco are doing, and they're doing it very successfully in terms of winning back Aldi customers. They'll be deploying a weapon that Asda can't deploy, which is club card data.
Yes, of course.
You can imagine Tesco being all over their shopper baskets, trying to work out which shoppers are still shopping in Aldi and what products they're buying.
Yeah.
And then particularly, I guess, home delivery stuff as we get post-pandemic. Somebody buying all their toilet rolls in Aldi. Toilet rolls are literally a pain in the ass to get back. They're so bulky. Yeah. Or bottled water. That's the other one. You buy 6 2-litre bottles of bottled water and try and carry those to your car. If you were Tesco, you'd be finding out which of my customers are buying their bottled water and toilet rolls at Aldi, and then targeting them with like free home delivery vouchers or something.
You would, and particularly because you're supposed to shop on your own, what you just said is even more exacerbated by the fact I've got to carry this whole damn lot myself if I'm shopping on my own. Okay.
So I think you know, Asda at the moment seemingly doing okay, but you know, price is always a very blunt and very short-term tool, and you know, easily replicated the next day by your competitor.
Yes.
Whereas this very fine sort of, you know, that's the shotgun approach. People like, you know, Tesco will be using the sniper approach of, you know, literally picking off customers and garnering back their loyalty, and you know, growing market share. Coming back to where we started, Tesco grows its market share. That's a headline in a decade.
That is, and I love your metaphor there, the shotgun versus the rifle or the sniper approach. Yeah, I can see that as the shotgun, Tesco rifle, picking off their customers much more in a sophisticated way, understanding their shoppers, shopper insights, all that good stuff we've been talking about before.
Yeah. So incredibly interesting times. It'd be so now fascinating, because obviously not in this data is the effect of pubs and restaurants opening on Monday. Yes. So when we see maybe not April, maybe May's data, how much of that food and particularly alcohol spend just literally seeps away from the multiple sector.
Yeah.
Because if you read the press, you know, you cannot get a beer garden reservation for love nor money.
And maybe that will continue. I mean, I guess it's going to largely depend on what the weather's going to be over our summer. If it's a good summer, then I guess the prediction is pub for everyone, and the sales for the multiples will go backwards.
Yeah,
maybe. Okay.
So interesting to watch, and for people like us that need to get out a bit more, waiting for the monthly Kantar data is something to look forward to and savour.
Andrew, thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Thank you for your insight into multiple growth from the Kantar data, and maybe we'll touch on that in a month again, and let's see what happens.
Take care.
Take care. Bye. Bye.
Bye.